Good morning, students. I'm Dr. Rajesh Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Ramanujan College. In this lecture, I will talk about a very interesting topic called small world phenomena. So, you all must have heard about the phrase. Okay, so you all must have heard about the phrase, this world is small. Whenever we meet some stranger and sometimes after some conversation, we realize that we both have someone known in common and we say, wow, this world is so small. So naturally, one is tempted to ask, is the world actually so small? And in what sense we say that the world is small? Generally, whenever we say that the world is small, we talk about connections. So, is there any mathematical way to prove that world is actually small? To answer these questions, I will first introduce you to a notion. There is some request coming, Dr. Prasanna. Some Naveen is requesting to annotate the shared content.
Sir, அவருக்கு access பண்ண கொடுக்க சொல்றாரு.
Should I approve or decline?
Pardon, sir.
I am getting a request from Naveen that to annotate the shared content. Should I approve or decline?
ஓகே சார், ஓகே சார். நவீன், எதையும் இது பண்ணாதீங்க தம்பி. அவங்க ஷேர் பண்ணிக்குவாங்க. நீங்க கண்டென்ட் எதுவும் டச் பண்ணாதீங்க. மிஸ்டர் நவீன், எதையும் கண்டென்ட் மூவ் பண்ண வேணாம். அது சாரே பண்ணிக்குவாரு. தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Okay. So is there any mathematical way to prove that the world is actually small? So to answer these questions, I will first introduce you to a notion called graphs. Yes. So what is graph? A graph is a way of specifying relationships among the collection of items. A graph consists of a set of objects called nodes or vertices with certain pairs of these objects connected by links called edges. So in simple words, graph is a method of representing relations among discrete objects that can be counted. Consider a situation. Suppose there are four persons, A, B, C, and D. A and B are friends with each other. B and C are also friends with each other. B and D are friends with each other. And C and D are also friends with each other. So how can we represent this situation mathematically? That is, how can we represent it using graph? So this is the graph. So here you can see I have marked the person A by a circle. I have marked another person B by a circle. Then C and then D. And since A and B are friends, so I have joined A to B by a line. Also B and C are friends, so I have joined B and C by a line. B and D are friends, so I have joined B and D by a line. C and D were given to be friends, so I have joined C and D by a line. But since A and C were not friends, A and C were not friends, so I have not joined them by a line. Okay. So in this graph, the circles labeled as A, B, C, D are called nodes. So this is node, this one is node, this one is node, and this one is node. And the lines A, B, B, C, C, D, B, D are called edges. This so this one is an edge, this one BD is an edge, BC is an edge, and CD is edge. So in graph, there are two things, nodes and edges. The nodes are also called vertices of a graph. Now, what are paths in a graph? A path is simply a sequence of distinct nodes with the property that each consecutive pair in the sequence is connected by an edge. So if you can see in this graph, I have taken the sequence A, B, C, D. So this A, B, C, D is a sequence of nodes and they are connected by edges. There are other paths also in this graph. So if you can see, I can take this path A, B, C. I can also take A, B, D. This is also a path. Then B, C, D is also a path. So there are many paths in this graph. Okay. Then concept in graph is cycle. A cycle is a sequence of nodes with the property that each consecutive pair in the sequence is connected by an edge and only first and last nodes are repeated. Means that a cycle can be considered as a path within a special condition that the first and the last vertex are same. That is first and last node is same. So if you can see in this, B is being repeated. First and last is B. So this is a cycle. So this is a cycle. So B, C, and D. I can also start the cycle from C, D, B, C, and I can also start the cycle from D, B, C. All are same cycles. Then comes the concept of connectivity in a graph. A graph is said to be connected if for every pair of nodes there is a path between them. Means if we choose any two nodes, then there should be a path joining the two nodes. For example, if we consider the first graph, if we consider the first graph, then in this graph, if we choose the vertex, if we choose the vertex A and D, then we can see there are two paths joining A and D. So I can choose the path this one, or there is another path this one. So there are two paths joining A to D. But if I consider the next graph, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then in this graph, if I pick the vertex 1 and 4, if I pick the vertex 1 and 4, then you can see there is no path joining 1 and 4 because this is not connected. So I cannot jump from here to here. This jump is not there. Okay. So this second graph is disconnected while the first graph is a connected graph. So in disconnected graphs, there is the concept of components also. A component is a subset of the nodes such that every node in the subset has a path to every other node. That is, if we pick any two paths, then any two nodes, then there should be a path joining the two nodes. And second thing is the subset should not be a part of some larger set with the property that every node can reach every other node. So component is basically maximal connected subset of the graph. Maximal in the sense that you cannot add extra vertex to make and the connectivity still remains intact. You cannot add any extra vertex. So that in that sense, it is maximal connected subset or subgraph of the set. Prasanna, my voice is not clear, Dr. Prasanna. My voice is not clear. Is my voice is not clear? I have received a message from a student that voice is not clear.
Your voice,
Me?
your voice is clear, sir.
Okay, okay. Then that student may be having connectivity issue. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, fine. So, so in this graph, if you can see, there are three components. This one, because if we add any other vertex to this graph, then it will become disconnected, because any if we pick any of these vertex, then there will be no path joining the vertex. So this is first component, then this is another component in the graph, and this is another component. So there are three components in this graph. Okay. So let us look at a simple application of graphs. How graphs can be used simply, we can see it from this application. So you all must have seen this famous quarantine puzzle during the lockdown, and you all must have solved this puzzle. So in this puzzle, there is a hospital with 16 isolated rooms. Each room has a patient with different illness. Patient in room number 13 recovers and he wants to say goodbye to each patient. He can only visit each patient once. If he visits the patient twice, he becomes ill again. How does he do this and exit from room number 4? So you all must be knowing answer to this question. That we can. So this person has to start from here and exit from 4. So what he does, he can go to room number 9. Then the trick is that he comes back again, because in his own room he will not get infected because this room is empty. So then he goes to 14, 10, 11, 16, 12. Like this, he can go out, meeting each patient exactly once. But how we use graph theory to get this answer? So we can use graph theory also to get this answer. But first we have to translate this problem into a problem of graph theory. So that is the major problem. How to translate this problem into a problem of graph theory. So let me play this small clip for you. I have recorded this. So is the audio of the video clear? Can you hear the video? Dr. Prasanna, is the audio of the video clear?
Uh, there is no sound, sir.
Very slow.
Yes, sir. No sound, sir.
No sound.
Yes, sir.
So how it will take the sound? Okay, I have another option. Wait,
Okay.
I can do one. I can do. So I can do one more thing. I can play this directly from my system.
தம்பி அந்த வீடியோ சவுண்ட் செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. Let me try this method. Now it is clear.
The content is clear, but there is no sound, sir.
Sound is not there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go. Let me clear.
Okay.
You can see this puzzle. So there are 16 isolated rooms. Each room has a patient with different illness. Patient in room number 13 recovers and wants to say goodbye to each patient. He can only visit each patient exactly once. if he visits a patient twice, he will become ill. So how to solve this problem? So rule is we represent each room by a vertex, that is node, and we make two rooms, that is two nodes adjacent. If they represent adjacent rooms and there is a gate to pass from one room to the other. So that is, if we can pass from one room to the other, then we make the two rooms adjacent. So I used the website graphoonline.ru. Okay. So I am drawing the graph that represents the puzzle. So I am adding 16 vertices in the graph. Each vertex represents the corresponding room, and I connect the two rooms as they are adjacent. So I am connecting all the rooms in this way. So you can see room number 1 was adjacent to room number 2 and 5. So in this figure also I have connected the node 1 with the node 2 and 5. And similarly, room number 6, this 6, the 6 is adjacent to 2 and 2, 5, 7 and 10. So I have made the 6 adjacent to 2, 5, 7 and 10. So this is the graph representing this puzzle. So now we have to find a Hamiltonian path, that is a path in which each node of the graph appears exactly once. That is, and it should start from vertex 13 and should end with 4. So I am using the algorithm to find Hamiltonian path, and you can see this graph has a Hamiltonian path, but the problem is it is not starting with 1 or 13 and ending with 4. And we cannot, and this is an inbuilt algorithm, so we cannot choose the initial and end vertex in this. So what we will do, we will add pendant vertex at vertex number 13 and vertex number 4, so that we will force the algorithm to generate a path which starts with 13 and ends with 4. So I am attaching pendant vertex at vertex 13 and pendant vertex at vertex 4. Now this graph does not have a Hamiltonian path. So what is the problem? The problem is we have not considered a trick that room number 13 can be visited twice. Since Hamiltonian path does not allow to repeat the vertex, what we will do, we will add a duplicate vertex, vertex number 13 star, and make it adjacent to vertices 9 and 14. So let's try this now. So I'm adding 13 vertex duplicate to 13 and making it adjacent to 9 and 14 because they were adjacent to room number 9 and 14. And now I will try to find the Hamiltonian path. And you can see that I have got a Hamiltonian path which is starting with pendant vertex 17 and ending with pendant ending with pendant vertex 18. So if I will remove the vertex number 17 and 14, then I will get the required, and I have to replace 13 star by 13 to get the desired solution. So this is the solution. You can see this was the solution generated by the algorithm. So now let me go back to the presentation. So graphs as models of networks. So every social network can be modeled using a graph, and we sometimes call them as social graph. And in a social graph, the peoples are considered as nodes, and the edge connects the two nodes if the peoples are related by the relationship that characterizes the network. So if we take Facebook and if we want to model it by a graph, then we will take people on Facebook as nodes, and two nodes will be joined by a line if corresponding peoples are friends on Facebook. Similarly, if we consider LinkedIn, then on LinkedIn, the relationship is connections. So if two peoples share a connection, then we will join them by a line. So in this way, we can represent a social network by a graph. You all might be wondering that why I'm not considering Twitter or Google Plus as a social network here. In Google or in Twitter or Google Plus, we have the relationship of follow. But in follow is a one-way relationship. That is, it means that I may be following you, but you may not be following me. So such social platforms can be modeled by a spatial graph called directed graphs. But in this lecture, I'm not considering directed graphs. So I have not given you the example of Twitter or Google Plus, but they can also be modeled using graph, which are called directed graphs. Okay. So now we understand that we can always model a social network via graph. Now let us go back to the main topic of this lecture, which is small world phenomena. So what is the intuitive notion that every person has some indirect connection through which a small set of intermediate individuals to every other person is referred to as small world problem. That is, so that is, if I have a person, if I pick any person A anywhere in the world and I pick any person B anywhere in the world, then the small world phenomena says that I can find a small set of individuals, some finite number of peoples, and very small number, not in millions or thousands. So very small, this number will be very small. So I will be able to find a very small set of individuals, a small set of individuals such that I can get in A can get in touch with B using these this small set of individuals. So this person, this A can transfer the message to B, this one person, then this person can transfer to this person, then this person can transfer the message to this person, and this way I can get the message delivered to B. So small world phenomena says that this set of individuals will be very small. It will be around. We will see what this number will be, but it will be a small number. This is what small world phenomena says. So Stanley Milgram did first experiment on small world phenomena. He randomly selected some individuals and provided them with a letter which had the target's name, address, occupation, and some personal information. So he randomly chosen some people and he handed over them some letters, some postcard which had the name of the person to whom it was to be delivered, address of that person, and what he used to do, and some other personal information to identify that person. And he asked these participants to forward letter to designated target person. But he placed the condition that he can hand over the letter to a participant on to a person to another person, provided he knows that person name, first name. He knows the person's first name, then only he can hand over the letter to that person. So suppose he have suppose he has given some letter of, say, some, this is some letter of, say, John, and he has given to some participant A. Now this participant he may not be knowing this person directly by first name. So what he does, he can transfer it to some person whom he knows by first name, and this person can transfer to another person whom he knows by first name, and this person can transfer to another person whom he knows by first name. So in this way, it can be transferred to this person. And this person, it is his will whom he wants to transfer. This person he can choose randomly. It is not that it has been mentioned that this person has to transfer to some person, fixed person. He can randomly choose this person, and this person can randomly choose this person. This person can randomly choose this person. So in this way, this experiment was conducted. So what do you think? Will the letter reach to this designated person, John? Will the letter reach to this designated person, John, and how much time will it take? So, in his finding, in his experiment, he found that one third of the letters actually reached the target. Not all the letters reached to the target, but one third of the letter reached to the target. But what was more surprising was that the median of the number of steps of completed task was just 6 steps. That is, if some letter have taken 4 steps, if some letter have taken 25 steps, but the median of all the completed letters was just 6 steps. That is, if A transferred the letter, then median of this was just, that is, it needed just individuals to reach this John. So it just took 6 steps. So median of this was 6 steps. So this was very surprising. And it shows that the world is actually small. But this was conducted on a very small number of participants. The letters was very small. So what was the conclusion of Milgram's experiment? The experiment demonstrated two striking facts about large social network. Large social network means people with large number of peoples, networks with large number of people. So there are abundance of short paths. So you can see that median was 6. So there was abundance of short paths in networks. People as nodes and and people are effective at finding these short paths. Later on, this style of experiment was, that is, constructing paths through social networks to distant targeting people, has been repeated by a number of other researchers over the years, and all have got similar results. So now we can formally define small world phenomena, or 6 degrees. This is called 6 degrees of separation because the Milgram's experiment median was 6. That it takes 6 steps to reach the target. So the small world phenomena says the small world phenomena is a principle according to which we all are linked by short chains of acquaintance, which means short chains of known peoples. And in fact, it is believed that if we select any two persons from 7.5 billion people on Earth, that is, if we pick any two A and B from anywhere in the world, then it will not take more than 5 individuals to reach the target. So it will not take more than 5 individuals to reach the target. So this person will transfer the message to this person will transfer the message to this, and so on, and it will not take more than 5 individuals. So indeed, the world is small. So now you know about the Facebook what do you think about the degree of separation of Facebook? In general, people know around 100% by name. Okay, on an average, a person knows 100% by name. But on Facebook, on average, a person has 400 to 500 friends. So what you expect of degree of separation of Facebook? Should it be less than 6? Should it be less than 6? So we hope so, because the number of friends has increased, number of connections has increased. So the degree of separation will decrease. We expect it to decrease. Okay. So researchers estimated average degrees of separation between all people on Facebook, and the average person connected to every other person is just 3.57 steps. So it takes only 3.57 steps to reach from one person to another, anywhere, anyone on Facebook. So on Facebook, the majority of people have between 3 and 4 steps. You can see from this diagram, 3 steps and 4 steps. So beyond this, there are very few people, and below this, there are very few people. So majority of people lie in this region, 3 to 4, and this is the mean of this data. So 3.57. Now let us try to model research community using graph model. So in this model, we take researchers, that is a person who has published at least one research paper as nodes, and we join two researchers, that is we join two nodes by link if the corresponding researchers are co-authors of some research paper. So if you think, if let us take, so this is some researcher A, he has published at least one research paper. This is some researcher B, he has published at least one research paper. Then I will join these two by a link, provided they have research paper in common. That is, they have co-authored a research paper, at least one research paper they have co-authored. So in that sense, I will join these two by a link in my graph. So in this way, I can model a research community by a graph. So what do you think about the degree of separation of research community? Will it be greater than Facebook's degree of separation, or will it be less than that? Now, number of researchers is definitely less than number of people on Facebook, and number of connections would be smaller. So we should expect that degree of separation should be less than number of people on Facebook. But surprising is that the the result is quite surprising, since most researchers can be connected in less than 3 steps. So if you want to reach a researcher A from researcher B, then it will take just 3 steps to reach this person. Only 3 individuals, 3 co-authors. So if you can see from this bar graph, so you can see that there are very few people, researchers, with degree of separation more than 3. So this is just 20% of the data, and this is 80% of the data. So majority of people have degree of separation less than equal to 3. Now there is a concept of Ados number. So instead of taking any two arbitrary researchers A and B and finding the number of steps between them, what in this concept what was done? We took Ados mathematics. mathematician Adosh, who has published 1500, more than 1500 research papers, and he has co-authored more than 500 researchers. So we take this researcher at the center and we try to find the steps of other researchers. So in this way, we try to find, so this is researcher one, this is researcher two. So we try to find this number of steps. So this number of steps here is 3. So this researcher has 3, this 3. So Adam's number is the number of steps needed to connect the author of a paper with prolific mathematician Paul Adosh, who has published more than 1500 research papers and has been co-authored to more than 500 researchers. An author's Adosh number is 1 if he has co-authored a paper with Adosh. If he has written a paper with Adosh, then his Adosh number is 1. If he has written a paper with someone who has written a paper with Adosh, then his Adosh number is 2. Similarly, if someone has co-authored with a person who has co-authored with another person who has co-authored with Adosh, then his Adosh number is 3. So you can find this people's Adosh number from this website. So let me take you to this website. So let me take you to the website. So from here you can get to know somebody's Adosh number. So let me find out my Adosh number. So I will find my Adosh number and I will use Adosh here. You can also use some other author's name and you may find out the number of steps you will need to reach that author. You can see. So there are many people with a Rajesh name Rajesh Singh. So this is mine. So I will search. You can see my Adosh number is 3. I have co-authored with S. Arumugam and S. Arumugam has co-authored with Adit Nemi and Adit Nemi has co-authored with Paul Adosh. So my steps are 3 steps to reach Paul Adosh. So my Adosh number is 3. So you can see this research community is also very small. The connections are so dense. Now let me go back to my presentation. So you can see my Adosh number is 3. Now, there is another concept of Beckon number. Beckon number is based on the movie industry. So, Kevin Bacon is an actor who has done a lot of movies. So, people have made him a center and initiated a concept called Beckon number. So, you can find Beckon number of any actor or actress using this website, the Oracle of Beckon. So, let me go to this website. So you can see this page. I can do one thing. So this is the website from which you can find Beckon number of any movie star. So let us try the Beckon number of Amitabh Bachchan. What do you think? Amitabh Bachchan is a Bollywood star while Kevin Bacon is a Hollywood star. So what do you think? What should be the Beckon number? Will it be more than 6, 7? So let us find out. So as we can see, the Beckon number of Amitabh Bachchan is just 2. So Amitabh Bachchan has done a movie, Great Gatsby, with Tobey Maguire, and Tobey Maguire has done a movie with Kevin Bacon. So Beckon number of Amitabh Bachchan is 2. what you can do is we can let us try some other names. A Tollywood stars we say. So let us try Rajnikant. So you can see the Beckon number of Rajnikant is also 3. So he is not far away from Kevin Bacon. He knows two people who know Kevin Bacon. Now let us try some name who is not so popular. So let us try the actor Vicky Kaushal. You can see his name is also not coming in the suggestion. So let us try this person. What is his Beckon number? So you can see Beckon number of Vicky Kaushal is also 3. He has done a movie with this Ashwin Mushran, and then this person has done movie with this person, and this person has done movie with Kevin Bacon. So you just need 3 steps to reach Kevin Bacon. So this movie industry is also very small. We are taking considering Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, and all of this, and still they are coming out to be very small. What you can do is you can check some others number. So let us try the Salman Khan number of Vicky Kaushal. What it comes out to be. So Vicky Kaushal has a Salman Khan number of 2. So you can try various actors and actresses to find their number corresponding to some other number. So this is all I have in this presentation.